Quebec City has always had a rich English language cultural scene. Yet, English-speaking personalities often fly under the radar. This short documentary series will put them into the spotlight by presenting different angles of this vibrant and close-knit community. This episode's angle, sports, dives into the heat of the action with 3 athletes. Olympian freestyle skier Louis Irving, Gaelic football enthusiast Killian Brennock, and ultra-marathoner Andrew Greenfield. For athlete and Olympian Louis Irving, Quebec City is a perfect place to train as a freestyle skier. Born in Quebec City, he brought home the bronze medal in the 2022 Beijing Olympic mixed team aerials event.
I'm from Quebec City. I grew up in Charlebourg. My parents still live there in the same house that I was born in, and yeah, I'm a Quebec boy. My dad was born in Montreal, but he moved to Quebec before he was even 2 years old. My mom is from here. But my whole dad's side of the family is all English, so I speak to my dad in English. To my brothers, we speak a mix of English and French, and then I speak in French with my mom.
Although not well known in this part of the globe, Gaelic football is one of the most popular sports in Ireland. When he arrived in Quebec City, Killian Brennock had the desire to keep playing his favorite sport and introduce Quebec City residents to this cross between soccer and rugby.
I'm from Ireland, but I've been here since 2004. Well, I arrived from Ireland in 2004 for my studies. I did my master's here in ecology and peatland restoration. And then after that, as the Québécois say, ce qui prend femme prend pays. I met someone, and well, the rest is history.
Andrew Greenfield is a road marathon and trail ultramarathon runner. Nothing seems to slow down this passionate athlete as he runs all year round in the trails and hills of the Quebec City region.
I'm originally from Great Britain. I'm from a town called Grimsby. It's a fishing port in the upper east coast of England. And by a circuitous route, I've ended up here in Quebec City, and I've been here 13 years now. The mother of my 2 fantastic kids is from here, from the city. She lived with me in Britain for a while, and for about 8 years. The kids were born there, and then we decided to come here as a family. And then, unfortunately, things happened, and after the divorce, I decided I want to stay here. You know, 1, because my kids are here, and 2, because the city and the region is just awesome. It really is. We're very lucky for everything we've got here.
I'm a biologist, so I love the outdoors. And in Ireland, you know, we have a kind of a reputation for being l'île émeraude, the Emerald Isle, but that's because most of the forests have been cut down to make way for fields. So for me, when I remember flying over Quebec for the first time and having a look out the window, and just seeing trees for as far as I could see. It's something that I never would have seen in Ireland. So yeah, I really love the outdoors. Like, I mean, from Quebec City, you can like take your car, go 30 minutes and see a moose. I mean, moose even come into the city sometimes. So yeah, that's one thing. That's probably the thing I really love the most here.
The culture here is fabulous. I mean, look at the building we're in. The Morrin Centre is just an awesome building, isn't it? There's so much history, there's so much culture here. If you like nature, it's all here. There's something going on all year round. Every day there's something going on in Quebec City or the region. It's like, certainly for Anglos, it's probably the world's best kept open secret. It's brilliant. This city and the region, it has everything. If you're into culture, you're into sports, if you like nature, and everything's so close. That's the thing, you know, the saying is, you're 20 minutes from everything. But it's true. And because of that, it doesn't take you hours to get somewhere. You don't have to come out of a big city to go somewhere. It takes you 20 minutes to get where you need to go to do what you got to do, which then means you've got more time after that because you're not sat in a car needing to go back to where you need to go to. Well, yeah, 20 minutes, but, you know, we're very lucky.
It's funny because every time I land and someone comes pick me up, as soon as I get on the highway, I look at them and I'm like, it feels so nice to be home. And it's just like, I travel so much and I'm around so much. It's just like always so much unknown. Just to come back to somewhere I'm so familiar with it's amazing. And it's just like, it's so calming, and it just, like our lives as athletes are pretty hectic, and we're just always running around kind of, you know, we have other people running it kind of, and we just follow and do what we're told. And I mean, it works, you know, we build good relationships with the people that we let do that to us. But no, definitely being able to come back and being in my own space, in my own city. Like, I need to be able to separate me competing and being at home, and being at home just makes it super easy to do that. I mean, my dad was a Paralympic skier, so both my parents are hard of hearing, so my dad was a downhill Paralympian. And so growing up, as soon as I could walk, basically, he taught me how to ski. I grew up skiing at the Relais, and so I was probably, 2 years old, a year old, and I was skiing with my dad and my brothers every weekend at the mountains. We used to race too, and no, it's just been a great journey. I'm happy that my parents put me into skiing early and just let me do whatever sport I wanted. It paid off in the end. As soon as I started doing aerials, it was definitely a goal of mine and a dream to win a medal at the Olympics. And but before that, no, probably not. I was just enjoying it. I've always been really competitive. I think having two brothers helped that a lot. And so yeah, when I just fell into a sport that I knew kind of from the start that I would be pretty good at, and I put in the work, then it became a goal. It became a reality. But before that, I think I was just enjoying every moment of playing. My last season was definitely not the ideal Olympic preparation season. Our qualification process for the Olympics is kind of based off 2 years, and there's target events that are worth certain amount for the qualification process. And well, gladly last year I had a really, really good season. I ended up with 3 podiums. I finished 5th overall. But then coming into this season, this year, unfortunately I hurt my knee right before the first World Cup of the season. So I kind of spent 2 months rehabbing that, trying to get back before the Olympics. And then because I had done so well the year before, I already had my results and I was already qualified. So that made it that we could really focus on healing and trying to get better as much as possible instead of as fast as possible, because we knew we had that time. But that also meant that I didn't compete until the Olympics. So that bronze medal event was really my first event since Kazakhstan the year before. So it was like, it had been a while, but that's why I was happy to do that event with my teammates as well. You know, the team event is kind of a different situation, a different vibe. It feels more relaxed just because you're not alone and you have your teammates. Yeah, there's the pressure of not wanting to let your team down, but at the end of the day, you're all trying to help each other. And I think that was huge for the overall performance of that day. Started off kind of the normal routine. We were just hanging out with the whole team and just having a good time. But I feel like we all kind of knew that it was going to be a good day. You know, like some days you wake up and you're warming up, you're doing everything, and you just feel like you're going to jump well that day. I think the 3 of us, Mia, Mariana, and I, were all kind of on that same page. I remember before our event, we were watching one of our friends that we work out with. He does snowboard cross, Elliot Grandin. And so we were watching him while we were warming up, and we saw him win his medal, and then we kind of went out, and that fired us up. And then we were just jumping, having a good time. And then once we got to finals and we saw what was happening, how everyone was jumping, our level compared to everyone. And it was the first time we made finals as a team together. And then at that point, for sure, we knew that all we had to do was land, and then we were going to get a medal. And then at that point, Marion fell first, but Mia and I were just like I think we still got this, right? We could still do this. And then we both put down nice jumps, and it was enough to get us a medal, which was amazing. At first, I didn't even realize it, really. I was just kind of in shock and just like really happy for me, really happy for my friends, and even like the Americans who I've competed against for like 12 years now. Me and them are really close. We spend a lot of time together. So for them to get the win and for all of us to be together at that point, I didn't even realize what was going on. I couldn't listen to everyone. We were getting told what to do before getting on the podium, and I just couldn't wait to get on. I think I got on like 3 times and they'd pulled me off like, no, dude, it's not time. But no, it was just like, it was a crazy moment of just like everything coming together, and like the satisfaction and like of working for something for so long and then finally getting a part of what you want was just a surreal feeling, and just like the relief, I guess, of having done it and being there was, that was the feeling.
When I arrived here, I realized very quickly that there weren't very many Irish people in Quebec City, like not originally from Ireland, say. So I wasn't really surprised that there wasn't a Gaelic football club here. When I arrived as well, I used to go to a pub quite often where Bateau de Nuit is on Rue Saint-Jean now. And I met up with a few people there and started talking to them about Gaelic football and showing them the sport, showing them hurling as well. Gaelic football would probably be the most popular sport in Ireland. We have 3 national sports in Ireland. We have Gaelic football, hurling, which is like it's like a mix between field hockey and baseball, and a ball that looks like a baseball, essentially. The other sport then is handball, but Gaelic football would probably be the most popular one in Ireland, yeah. You take the best parts of soccer, rugby, basketball and handball, mix them all in together, throw in a dose of energy, and that's what Gaelic football is. It's like it's played on a field similar to a soccer field, but the goals are like a capital H. If you put the ball in the goal, in the net, it's worth 3 points. Put it over the bar, it's 1 point. And normally on a full-size pitch, we have 15 players per team, all on the pitch at the same time, with subs as well. Imagine like it's soccer, but you can pick the ball up in your hands. To advance, you have to like dribble, as in basketball, but you can't dribble twice in a row. It gets a little bit complicated. You have to interrupt each dribble with what we call a solo. Basically, while you're running, you kick the ball to yourself. And then if you want to pass the ball, you have to either hit it with your hand, like a service in volleyball, or you can kick it with your feet, like a goaler in soccer. On our team, we have a lot of Quebecers, obviously. But we have, I'd say, a higher proportion of say, immigrants, people from outside of Quebec. They could be, Anglophones from outside of Quebec province. We've got a few Anglophones from Quebec playing with the team as well. But we've got an awful lot of immigrants, say, from outside of Canada as well. We've got, over the years, we've had Australians, Egyptians, French, Dutch, German, Irish, English, Colombian, Brazilian, United Nations, basically.
I'm a runner. I've been running for years, on and off. I got into it when I was a kid. I used to play a lot of soccer, and I realised I wasn't very good. Still enjoyed it, but and I'm a big soccer fan today. I watch a load of games. But I found that the running aspect of trying to kick a ball around a field was what I preferred, just to get out of the house and get moving. Then eventually I joined the military. I left home at 16, joined the military. I spent 10 years in the British Army. And so, you've got to be fit, so you run. Sometimes you run with weight, you run with your boots on and your kit and all your kit and things. So you get used to running with weight, and you're going long distances, long distances. And, you know, so I've been running for years. And then I stopped for a while and then got back into it. And I got back into it a few years ago. I suffered from PTSD. And I used it as... I used it as therapy, really, and I found that it helped enormously. I ran a couple of marathons, and I did the Quebec City Marathon in 2019, and I finished it, and I did it as fast as I could, and I got a really good time, but I was like, yeah, I could keep going. I'm not done here, I could keep going. So then you've got a choice then. You either stick to running marathons and try and do them faster, or you run further distances. So I got into running ultramarathons. So, you know, seriously long distances, which then you'll run a marathon distance as a training run. So I do those, I run ultras, and it's immense. The community is amazing. I'm talking about the running community. Everyone helps everybody. When you run that sort of distance, your biggest competitor is your best friend as well, because you could be out on the trail in the middle of the night and something happens, you need help, you know, so your competitor is instantly your friend, and you theirs if you need to help them. So running is something I got back into. I've done for years, then I got back into it, found it helped enormously, and it still does today. When you run in the middle of the night, when you've got to condition your mind to be ready for that. You've got to be comfortable being alone. That's really important. It's the middle of the night, you've got your head torch on, and there's sounds. You know, there's nature going on that I talked about a minute ago. You've got to be comfortable with that. You can't be freaked out by it. And you've got to remember that the animals that are there, they're as scared of you, perhaps, as you are of them. So, you know, it's just one foot in front of the other and away you go. Trail running, you're out in nature and it's brilliant. You know, I ran to work the other day, and I set off at 6 o'clock in the morning. So I get up at 5:30, all my kit's ready. I'm out the door at 6 to be able to get to work on time. And you're running through the park, and the St. Charles River is frozen over. It's frozen over. There's snowed over as well. And I'm running along, and there's a fox just goes flying down the river, and you're like, wow, it's so cool to be in that environment. You know, you're in the fox's environment. You know, he's not in mine, I'm in his, and he's just doing his thing, getting on with his day. And you're like, it's how can I put it? It's like a privilege to see that and be part of that.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you look at the amount of people at the Olympics, the amount of people representing, Canada, but also Quebec on the Canadian Olympic team is huge. Like, especially I think freestyle is, I mean, not only freestyle, which is like the majority from Quebec, but you look at speed skating, you look at a lot of the biathlon distances and all that, snowboarding, like a lot of people are from here, and I think that just goes to show how much support we have in this province to be able to go out and perform. And like, we have access to really good facilities, where it be the PEPs or the new rink that they built, and Équipe Sportive Québec Lévis are a huge program that helps support amateur athletes and make sure that we get access to any trainer that we need, any physio, any medical work or whatever. So I think that in itself, having these organizations behind us, backing us, makes our job so much easier, and it makes it that we can have a really good, strong group pushing any sport, really, from this province. There's no reason why we would go anywhere else. Everything's so easy here. We have access to everything we need. I think the only time we ever think about going elsewhere is when we go to Finland early November, just because it's kind of the only place that can guarantee snow.
it's something that I don't think I'll ever stop doing. I'm very passionate about it. It's such good fun. You meet some amazing people, and we live in an area where it's hilly. There's hills and mountains everywhere. Even if you want to go for a run, you're trying to go run on the flat, you can't in Quebec City. There's hills everywhere. In order to run well and to run the distances you need to do a different variety of training. And so you might need to do some hill repeats, you might need to do some stairs repeats, you might need to go on a long distance. The long distance you do needs to have some hills in it to work your legs, to get you ready for the summer, for when you need to get up and down the mountains. Everything's here, it's all here, and we're blessed to have what we've got in this area so close to us. Like from where I live, if I want to go out and run a 30 or 40 kilometres, I can go through the park, I can go on some hills, I can go, I can do Mont Bel Air, up and down the mountain there. Okay, it's not a big mountain, but, if you go up and down that 3 or 4 times, your legs know you've had a workout. It's 20, 30 minutes down the road, you've got the park, Vallée de la Jacques-Cartier, it's all there. You've got Morrin Centre 30, 40 minutes away. Everything's there. Everything's just close. It's a dream sometimes to be able to get out running here all year round.